Welcome to Nanny News. It's your host, Ashley Cunningham, aka Nanny Announcements. We are so excited to have you guys here today for our very first Nanny News show. Yes, you guys, Nanny News is here and it's here to stay forever now. We are here on our new platform, YouTube. Yes, we are on YouTube now. I can't tell you guys, I've always wanted to start a YouTube channel. Always, like, it's always been a dream. I love watching YouTube. I call it like YouTube University because you can learn so much off of YouTube. So I just always wanted to be a YouTube channel star. So here we are. Nanny News is on YouTube. So what is Nanny News? Because a lot of people have no idea what Nanny News is or never even heard of it. So Nanny News is a show that is going to be bringing you all things that are related to the nanny industry. So that's announcements, that's events, that is business owners, that is nanny, I guess we call our business owners nannypreneurs, excuse me, nannypreneurs, that is doulas, new careborn specialists. Anything that is happening in this industry, you can expect to hear it on this show. Also, we're going to be sharing the juiciest, and I mean the juiciest stories that we can find in this industry. Because, baby, this industry has so much going on right now, and we are so excited to be sharing it with you. So, kick back. Hold up. Don't you dare kick back and relax yet, because I know you have not hit that subscribe button down below. So before you do anything, go hit that subscribe button, go like this video, hit that bing bell notification on so you know when we are dropping the juiciest stories of all. And can y'all please comment below and tell me what you would like to see on Nanny News. If you are a business owner, tell me below so I can know who you are and what your business is so we can get you shouted out. Also, if you have a story that you need to share or you want to share or you heard about, y'all drop that link below or send us an email at nannyannouncements@gmail.com. It's right here. Send us an email or comment below. So since you've already commented, you subscribed, you liked, and you hit that bell notification, now you can kick back and relax and enjoy our first show. So on today's show, we're going to be sharing our story, Nanny Announcements story. No one really knows a lot about us. We don't share much about ourselves on social media, and we are so excited to share our story because, baby, we've been through it, okay? So let me start. If you guys see me looking down, I have some notes in my hand. I have so much information I want to share with you guys, so I don't want to forget. So if you see me looking down, it's because I'm just looking at my cheat sheet. All right. Anyway, so where the heck has Nanny Announcements been? Y'all, we have been gone for probably about 6 months away from the gram or just social media, period. I have been going through, we made a major change. If anybody knows, we moved. Yes, I moved all the way from California to Las Vegas, Nevada. So I'm in Vegas now, and I kind of want to share just like my journey of moving from one state to the next state to the next state. Because if anybody really knows, I started from Kansas City, and then I moved to San Diego, then I moved to Las Vegas, all within 3 years, okay? 3 years has all happened. So I'm here to share my story. Okay, so this all started in about 2018 when my aunt called me and told me that she was pregnant, but not only pregnant, but pregnant with twins, and she needed a nanny. So she offered me and asked me if I wanted to be a nanny. Then, I'm not even kidding you, 2 days later, I go into my job that I'm working at in Kansas City, which is a long-term substitute position that I took, and they offered me a job to become a 5th grade teacher. I was I had a 5th grade teacher in one hand, and I had a nanny in another hand. 5th grade teacher in Kansas City, nanny in San Diego. Yes, I took that nanny position in San Diego. I called my aunt back after I didn't take me about a week to really decide what I wanted to do. And I called my aunt back and I said, "All right, I'm it. I'm your nanny." And she was like, "Are you serious?" I said, "I'm dead serious. Like, I'm ready to make this commitment. I've been dying to come to California." I said, "But I'm gonna need your help though." I said, I'm not gonna be able to, just instantly find me a spot to live in. So I'll be your nanny if I can stay with you guys until I'm able to get on my feet and get me an apartment. Took that offer in a second. My aunt was like, "Are you kidding me?" She was like, "I'm definitely," she's like, "Duh, bring your butt over here." So you guys, I packed my stuff up within 2 suitcases, maybe 3. I had about 3 suitcases full of all my clothes, all my shoes, all my clothes, all my personal things, anything that I wanted to bring with me. I tried to fit into this suitcase. Didn't bring no furniture, no car, nothing. And let me tell y'all, I love car. I have to have a car. Like, I drive myself everywhere. I have motion sickness, so I like to drive myself. I don't really trust other people's driving because people crazy. So I drove. I had to leave my car in Kansas City, which was heartbreaking. And I got on that one-way flight. I said bye to my mom, my dad, my sister, my nephews, my nephew, my niece that was in my sister's belly at the time. I said goodbye to my grandma, my grandpa, my other aunt and uncles. I said goodbye to everybody, my 2 best friends, everybody. And I got on my one-way flight, baby, and I never looked back again. I became a nanny for my aunts in 2018 in San Diego, California. I stayed with my aunt for about 1 year in their household. I ended up finding a girl to move in with. We got our own spot. We had an apartment there. That was my 2nd year in about 2019. I was still working with my aunt, and I was working with her best friend. So and then I also had another family. So from 2018 to about the end of 2019, I was working with 3 different families. Started with 1 in San Diego and ended up working with 3 different families all at the same time. After my year and a half of working with 3 different families, those families put their kids in preschool, so it was time for me to look for a different family. And so that's the family that I've worked with all the way until I was done working in San Diego. With that family, we went through ups and downs. We went through COVID. We went through divorce. We went through COVID, me getting COVID. It was just a lot. We went through a lot of things together, and they hold a special place in my heart forever. And then that's where we decided to make our move. And this all started, I knew my lease was up in February, right? Of this year, February of 21. And I knew that I didn't really want to stay in San Diego because San Diego is nice as heck, you guys. Like, one of the most beautiful places I've ever stayed in. But I didn't want to pay for that. Cha-ching, that rent, baby. That rent was expensive. I felt like I wasn't getting anywhere with my finances being in pain and living in a box. I lived in a 300 square foot apartment, you guys, and paid just as much as I'm paying for this 2-bedroom and 2-bath apartment I have now in Vegas. So that gives you kind of a clarity of where I'm paying from. I paid around, I'm just going to flat out say it, I paid $1,250 for my 300 square foot apartment in San Diego. I loved it. I mean, I had a great time. It was my own crib. Going home to your own place, y'all, is the best feeling in the world. But I knew I needed to leave because I wasn't going to get anywhere big if I stayed here, potentially. So I had a friend in Kansas City, and they were wanting to make a move as well. And it kind of was at the same time where I could be making the move. So we both decided to make this move to Vegas. One, for them, they've always wanted to come here, and it was an opportunity for them to be here. And for me, it was more of, I needed this change for myself. 2, I needed to become more affordable rent so I could save my money. And 3, I just wanted to our job is so flexible, so we're able to move around if we want to. And I live on the West Coast, where the West Coast is popping of nannies and families. And so I knew that I was going to be able to find a family in Vegas just as much as I was going to be able to find a family in California. So I just was like, let me make this move. Like, I don't know what Vegas is like. Let me see what this is like. I mean, I'm 27 years old. I have no kids. Let's do this. This is where it gets juicy. Okay, so back in January of 2020, we started apartment hunting. Well, COVID put this on a very big, made this process even 10 times harder than it really was. Because we couldn't really go visit Vegas to obviously to go tour the apartments. So we had to do all this on video. Like, we had to do this all on virtual tours. And I don't know about y'all, but I have to see my apartment before I move in. I cannot live in I can't sign a lease and not know where I'm staying or the area I'm staying. So this made it very more difficult for me and gave me a little bit of anxiety about it. So, I mean, we were calling, and some people were saying that they can't call back in a couple weeks because you're too early. Then some people were saying, oh, they're booked. Then some people were saying, yeah, we can, but we can't give you a virtual tour. Just go look at our pictures online, which that wasn't happening. So we just kept calling. It's January 23rd, the end of January. I have about 2 weeks left on my lease, and I don't know where I'm staying at in Vegas. But thank God COVID was here, because if it wasn't COVID, I'm not kidding. Like, COVID helped me a little bit. My apartment that I was staying at in San Diego, I was having this, a deal where you can extend, if your lease was up, you can extend your lease forever, how long you want, and you don't have to, you can move out whenever, basically. And if you know apartment places, baby, you have to give in your notice, and then you got to leave out on your notice. Well, they were basically saying you didn't have to give a notice, which helped me out so much, because that gave me another couple weeks to figure out what we were going to do, because we still didn't have no apartment, and I was 2.5 weeks away, and I was freaking out. So we're into February. In February, I extended my lease until the end of February. February 25th was going to be my last day on my February 27th was going to be my last day, because it was like a Sunday, I think, was going to be my last day at this apartment. And I put it in on the 1st, and February 9th comes around, February 12th comes around, still no apartment. Y'all, so about a week and a half before we moved, we finally got approved for apartment, and we finally found an apartment. But we couldn't see the apartment. I couldn't see the apartment. And the video that they had taken was on YouTube. And the video said that it was uploaded literally 2 months ago. So in the office in the front, I called the people in the office. I said, well, can you at least go videotape my apartment, the one that I'm staying at? And the one that I was staying at obviously was occupied still. So they were like, no, we can't do that. But I promise you, Ashley, the videos on YouTube are literally our apartment, and it's updated. And I said, okay, I have to trust your word. I told them, I was like, I'm trusting your word on this. I said, because this is not something I usually do. I usually come and see my apartments. And they were like, no, we promise you, you're gonna be okay. So y'all, I went off of a YouTube video and Google Maps to find my apartment and to make sure I was in a good area. And by the grace of God, when I pulled up to this apartment, it ended up being the best, nicest apartment ever. But how do we get there? Well, it's a whole nother journey of itself. So we signed a lease of our apartment. This is the middle of February. We finally signed a lease to our apartment. I have 2 weeks to figure out how I'm going to get all my stuff from here to a whole nother state. So I start calling around to U-Haul places, the Penske place, that yellow truck place people. And first of all, the U-Haul was going to be charging me over $1,000 to move from here to San Diego to Vegas. And the Penske's was about the same, $1,500. And mind you all, I'm getting the smallest truck possible, because all I had was a bed. The biggest furniture I had was a bed, a storage unit where I put a cubbies in, and a chair, a reclining chair. Because remember, I lived in a studio, so I didn't have a lot of big furniture. So all I needed was the smallest of the smallest. Baby, I don't do no $1,500, no $1,800 for some moving when I can easily do this for myself. I said, so you tell me I'm paying for the truck? So I said, we're gonna figure this out another way. So I started looking at my apartment and measuring out all my things, and I came up with the conclusion I'm gonna have to take 2 trips. And I could fit most of my stuff on the very first trip up there. And then my second trip back was going to be with the big stuff. And that's where I was trying to figure out how I was going to get the big stuff. And I didn't want to do a U-Haul, and I didn't want to do the yellow truck, the Penske place. So Enterprise is here we come. So I went to Enterprise and I rented the biggest truck I could find, which is the Ford 150 truck. And I just was like, I'm winging it. I'm going to make this work. We're going to put all my stuff in this truck and in my car. And then whatever doesn't fit in this truck or my car ain't gonna make it to Vegas. That I literally packed up my entire apartment, you guys, 300 square feet by myself. I packed it all the way up to the rim. Like, my car is packed to the rim, as you can see in this picture. I literally I brought my TV, my kitchen stuff, my bathroom stuff, my clothes. I packed as much stuff as I could do in this car on the very first time. But remind you all, I'm a working woman. I'm a hustler, so I get my money. I worked all the way up until this day. I worked all the way up. I was leaving on a Saturday, and I worked all the way till Friday. And I worked until 8 p.m. on Friday. And I still had to pack my car and all this. But remind you, I also had to be in Vegas on Saturday by 1 p.m. to grab my keys. So I can, and remind you, it's a 5-hour drive. So Friday night after work, my last day of work, I get home and I literally park my car as closest to my door as I possibly can, and I start stuffing. I start stuffing my car. I start grabbing TVs. I start grabbing boxes after boxes after boxes, and I start throwing clothes and clothes and clothes in there. And I packed that mug to the rim. Then I woke up the next day about like 6 a.m. As you can see in this video right here, 6 a.m. looking a hot mess. Drove my little Ford EcoSport that was packed to the rim to Vegas. Got there right at 12:30, 30 minutes before my apartment complex is closed. Got my keys, walked into this apartment, and by the grace of God, it was just like the YouTube videos. Baby, this apartment is the nicest apartment I'd ever stayed in. It was luxury, like it said on that sign when I pulled up. I'm not going to tell you the name of my apartments. Blank, blank, luxury apartments. I said, God is good, and it's literally luxury, baby. I feel like I'm living in a luxury apartment. It's so nice, and I'm so thankful. And the journey there was not easy. So that was just part 1 of the drive there, right? I got there, I brought my stuff, met my roommate. My roommate drove all the way from Kansas City to here, their stuff. And we unpacked our apartment, and by then it's like 4 or 5 o'clock in the evening. And we both knew that we weren't gonna make it to San Diego that day, back again to make the second trip. Like, it just wasn't possible. So we tried to get so we rented a hotel room that night because our Wi-Fi wasn't working. We had no cable, nothing was hooked up. Everything was coming in on Monday. So we had to, kind of just deal with it. So Saturday night, we booked a hotel. Sunday morning, we woke up and came straight to San Diego. But remind you, it is like a 5-hour drive, and we didn't wake up early that day. Like, we slept in, woke up, drove all the way to San Diego for another 5 hours, picked up the rental car that was at the San Diego airport, drove to my apartment, loaded that entire truck, and loaded my entire car again. Both cars packed to the top. I didn't really judge right, y'all. Threw away a few of my things because they wasn't making it, and drove all the way back to Vegas. And that was, by then when we left San Diego, it was about 7 o'clock. So we made it back here by like 12 midnight. Unloaded my car, unloaded both of the cars, and passed out and slept for days, it felt like. And that was my moving process. We got moved in, and we had to start the search for jobs. I moved to Vegas without a job, yes. And my roommate moved to Vegas without a job. Do I recommend somebody doing that when you're moving? Depending on how much you have saved. And depending on if you have any leads coming up for your job, or depending on if you know any connections. It's a little hesitant. I wouldn't really recommend it. So the job hunting. The job hunting we started beginning first week we started being there, because we both realized that we weren't going to make it if one of us didn't have our job. So with me being our industry, it's a little easier to find either a temporary job or something a babysitting job, something that's not as full-time or as professional, your family, the way you would want it to be. But it's easy to find something like that. So I found this temporary family, and worked for the first few months. My roommates was looking for a job after job after job after job after job. And we took about 6 months, and just now taking about 6 months to finally just be comfortable. I started working with a different family, and then I signed up with this one family. My temporary position was up, and then I was stuck with what am I about to do. Found this really elite, top-notch nanny agency out here, got on with them, and within about 2 weeks, I got my job. I got one of my dream jobs. I am currently, you guys, a nanny and a personal assistant for a family that I absolutely love. This is the very first time that I've been a personal assistant with somebody, and I love it. I don't know about y'all, but I love being a personal assistant. I love being able to schedule the events, scheduling appointments, making the appointments, making the errands, running the errands. I love it. I just love that atmosphere. And I also nannied an older child. I have an 11-year-old nanny kid, and this is the oldest I've ever nannied. I've always done younger people. So, I promise you, I've been working with kids since I was 16, and I'm 27 years old. So that's 10 years in. And I've been I promise you, every single job I've had so far was toddlers, 3 and above. So I'm an expert toddler person. But this is the first time I was working with a 11-year-old, and it's been so much fun. I'm loving it. I'm loving the connection I'm making with my nanny kids. That kind of wraps up where we're at right now, where we've been, what happened to us. Y'all, this move to Vegas seriously was a whirlwind, and it has been a whirlwind since we've been here. Learning a new place it's a lot. It's a lot to move. It's a lot to learn about people's cultures, and learning about the culture, and learning about, just everything about how people live out here. It's a lot, but it's also so rewarding and so much fun. So if you are thinking about moving, or thinking about moving to a different state, my advice to you guys is to do it. I have moved to two different states since I've been within the last 3 years, and I can't tell you that it's been the best 3 years of my life. Yeah, I have had the most challenging 3 years of my life as well, but if I really sit back and look at it, it's been the best 3 years of my life. I've been able to witness things I never thought I would ever witness before. I've been able to experience way of a different cultures and how people in different states live, because the Midwest lives a certain way, the West Coast lives a certain way, and the East Coast lives a certain way. And it's just so cool to see the dynamics from each different state and each different culture when you move. That's my tips for you guys, and that's my story. That's where we've been. We've been going through, not going through it, but we had a big old move. We've been very, moving to a different state. It takes, I promise you, it probably will take up to 3 to 5 years to feel comfortable in that state. I was living in San Diego for about 3 years, and my last year there was the most comfortable I've ever was. And I promise you, the first year you move to your new state is the most uncomfortablest. And that's what I'm experiencing right now. This is my first year into Vegas, and I'm getting there. We're getting there, slowly but surely. But I obviously know it takes time to make your connections, to get to know the area. So I'm just embracing it and enjoying every moment that I can. But I really wanted to say thank you guys for all the love that we really got during the time that we were gone, and all the love that we're receiving now. It's crazy how strong this nanny industry really is, and that's why I wanted to make Nanny Announcements, because it is such a strong and impactful industry. But we really, 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 really support each other like no other, because we really truly understand what we're going through. Because being a nanny is one of the most unique things that each of us are. It's a job that nobody understands. Nobody understands unless you are in it ourselves. So I thank you guys for sticking through my show, thinking through learning about our story, our journey. It's a process moving, you guys. It's not easy. It's not easy at all. But I promise you guys, you can do it. If you want to do it, do it. Okay? If you take anything from this video, is to go pack those bags or to get on that computer and start searching about where you're going to make that next move. Because some of us feel stuck right now in our little chairs that we are at. And sometimes that move, that uncomfortableness that you need, like taking that step out of your comfort zone, get you to where you need to be comfortable. And that's what I did. I took 2 steps out of my comfort zone. And look where I'm at now. I'm here in Vegas and blossoming and experiencing a whole nother life. So on next episode of Nanny News, we're going to be talking about the parents and their stories about their nanny. We usually hear about the nanny story and how they felt about their job. Now we're going to talk about what the parents have been feeling by it. I'm going to share a few stories about some parents have shared their experiences with their unicorn nanny or their not so unicorn nanny, their nightmare nanny. So I'm going to stay tuned for that next episode. Also, next episode, my goal is to shout out as many businesses and nanny, events as we possibly can. But I need your help. I need you guys to let me know if you have an event. If that's a DM on Nanny Announcements at Nanny Announcements, or if that's an email at nannyannouncements@gmail.com, or if that's commenting below this video. You have multiple ways to reach me. But please, you guys, please let me know what you have going on. There's so much going on that I'm not going to be able to know every single day. So I'm going to need your help. And like we said, Nanny Announcements is here to help you. We are a business that's here to help your business. We are a promotional page, you guys. We promote businesses. So what better way to send me your flyer and your event or whatever you have to me so I can promote it for you. That's one less thing you have to worry about, is posting after posting after posting. Oh, Ashley's got it. I promise you, I got your back. So come over to Nanny Announcements and we will get you set up and ready. All right, guys, this is it for Nanny News. We'll see you next time. Thank you so much. It's your host, once again, Ashley Cunningham, aka Nanny Announcements. We'll see you next episode. Bye.